on in the room. Come on in the room. The Bucks win it tonight, 124-114 over the Washington Wizards. I think that's 6 in a row. I believe 8 of the last 9 for the Bucks. The Bucks are one of the hottest teams in the NBA right now. 124-114. Come on in the room. Doc is our doctor. He writes out all our scriptures. He gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. The Cream City crossover, the Groove Truck on the third.
JT.
Chris King.
Yeah. Everybody's in the building tonight. No, everybody but Justin. So I'm sure he's a happy Justin right now. He said he's out at the Great Wolf Lodge, enjoying some time with the family. But we here with you guys, man. We appreciate you guys for joining in, locking in with us tonight as the Bucks take down the Washington Wizards. There was work to be done on a Saturday evening. Lots of fun as the Bucks beat the Wizards. 40-point triple-double for Giannis Antetokounmpo. First time in his career. He's had a 40-point triple-double. Did it with ease. We enjoyed it. If you're in the chat, we'll get to YouTube. Get to your comments. I know there's a couple good Twitter questions that I want to get to early in the show tonight. You can get there at TCIIESQ. And we will talk about those. We'll get into some of those questions, get into your comments, and we'll jump into it. But a 124-114 victory for the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. Let's do a quick game recap. It was 42-12-11, 37 minutes for Giannis. 42-12-11. Man, I'm looking at these minutes, and I'm just looking at them. It just wowed me as I just recap and just look and see what we would typically see from the Milwaukee Bucks, especially if you're talking about like a Mike Budenholzer team. You just against a team like the Wizards, you just wouldn't see Giannis having to go 38 minutes, Dame having to go 40 minutes tonight to beat the Wizards. So again, I'm somewhat looking at this concerned. 35 minutes for Brook Lopez. That's one of the big numbers I'm looking at here. So big numbers on the scoreboard, big numbers in the minutes played column as well. But again, 42, 12, and 11. That's a triple-double for Giannis. He did it efficiently, 62.5%. And let me tell you something else. I mean, if Giannis forced about 4 or 5 mid-range. He was shooting that shot very well, but he missed like all of them tonight. And you could tell he was just trying to hit one. So if he just took those out of his game, like, you know what, I'm just gonna go to the cup. He would have had a much more efficient night. 12 of 17 from the line. And matter of fact, he shot very well from the line, and then went 1 for 4 down the stretch. So it was a 70. Ends up being 70%, but it was a little bit better all the way around if you take those things out of the equation. Brook Lopez, 18 points, 3 assists tonight, 7-14 from the field, 4-10 from 3. Had some timely threes. Taurean Prince, another timely 3 as well, 11 points, 3 of 4 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. Andre Jackson Jr., 2 points, 9 rebounds, a lot of good hustle. Got some things to clean up on the offensive side of the ball. And Damian Lillard with 25 and 10. So, again, you go, what's 42 and 25, JT? Give me some math on that. 67 and 21 assists. 67, 17, and 21 from your big two there in your one of the highest scoring duo in the NBA, Giannis and Dame. He goes 25, 10, and 5. 8 of 18, 5 of 9 from 3. So good night from 3 for him. He was a plus 12. Only 2 turnovers for him tonight. Bobby Portis, 9.6 rebounds, 1 steal. AJ Green gave you 13, 4 of 8, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. Had one of the nastiest. I mean, like that was like a Kyle Korver, like Reggie Miller. He got the ball inside. In this one play, he gets the ball in not in the paint, but just outside the paint, and literally just takes 3 steps, just runs almost like a curls on his own to the 3-point line, fadeaway 3. It was beautiful. AJ Green has got that shot rolling. DeLon Wright, 2 points. Again, I'm waiting to see when Ryan Rollins gets back his spot because, I mean, he deserves it at this point. Gary Trent Jr., 2 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists tonight. A little rough for GTJ. On the Wizards side of the ball, Jordan Poole, 31, 7 and 4. Malcolm Brogdon, 29 and 11. The quietest 29 and 11 you'll ever see. But again, those two, that backcourt duo from the Washington Wizards, destroyed the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. JV, Jones Valanciunas, 16.7 rebounds, 5 assists. Alex Sarr had 7 points tonight. He was trash. And Corey Kispert, another notable, with 16 points. I'm just saying, you knew it was going to be a big night for Giannis. Like, you didn't know it was going to be 50 points or 60 points or, whatever it's going to be. But when you start the game and it's Alex Sarr, this is your welcome to the NBA moment. Like 5 years down the line, when he's on some podcast with Jeff Teague or whatever, some old washed up bum. Maybe he'll be the washed up bum. I don't know. But Alex Sar will be on some podcast like all these guys do, and they'll be like, "Hey, what was your welcome to the NBA moment?" Yeah, man. In November, one of the first nights I ever played. First time I ever played Giannis, he put up 40-point triple-double on my head. Yeah, that was on you, big dog. And again, nothing you can do about it. Like I'm not even hating on Alex Sar. It's just, hey, you blame your coach, man. Blame the coach. I think it was Brian Keefe. Blame Keefe for having for putting that matchup on you, man. That ain't fair, man. Send some triple, send something, man. Send some help. But he didn't do it. Quick recap on the night. I'll say this. I thought the Milwaukee Bucks for the majority of the game, it looked like a game where, and I know we'll get to it. I think we have Thanksgiving hangover as one of the topics, but that's what it looked like tonight. It looked like a team that was coming off of the holidays. Your family's in town, and you just didn't have what it takes, or didn't. Let me say, you had what it took. You didn't feel like giving 110% tonight. And this is one of the ones where you rolled the ball out. And there are nights like this in the NBA where you roll the ball out, and because you have Bucks on the front of your jersey, and you got one guy's name is Lillard, one guy's name is Antetokounmpo, one guy's name is Brook Lopez, even an AJ Green. Because you have those guys, and then on the other side, you got Corey Kispert and Bilal, what's my man name? Bilal Kalubi.
Koulibaly.
Hey, and he could play a little bit too. But because you got guys like that, that's their last name, and the front of their jersey say Washington Wizards, you roll the ball out and you just expect to win. And I give the Wizards credit. They didn't lay down and die. They made it a game. They played as hard as they could to go get a dub. There was a point in the first half where the Bucks just getting out rebounded at will. I don't know what the rebounds ended up, but I think that the Wizards hustled a little bit better. They got to the ball a little more. They wanted it a little bit more, but they just didn't have. At the end of the day, there was a talent gap, and the Bucks won the talent gap. So again, on a night like this, I get it. It's a Saturday. It's in November. Kind of like some of these post games. So it's a Saturday in November. I could be doing anything right now. I could be doing anything right now. But we getting this post game in, and that's what it felt like for the Bucks. Like it was one of the night. They probably wish they was at home chilling, staying with more family. But you had to go. Like JT said it before we got on the air. Hey, we had to go to work, and so they went to work and they got the job done. 124-114. That's what I saw. JT, what'd you say?
Yeah, a lot of this just kind of felt like a night where the players knew that they had to go to work, right? Like guys were probably Black Friday shopping yesterday. I don't know, up late. Maybe they were playing dominoes late into the afternoon. Excuse me, playing bones late into the afternoon. It was, man, I got to go to work. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all in a little bit. And you're gonna have these games during the season, so not overly concerned. Would we have loved to see this team blow this Wizards team out by 30? Yes. Would we have preferred to see that because this Wizards team is not good? Absolutely. But, at the end of the day, I say this all the time. You take the pretty with the gritty, right? We're going to stack this one up there and move on. One thing that I really liked about tonight, though, a couple things. The first one is it was the Giannis and Dame show in that first half, and that was 100%. Both of them, Giannis with 20, Dame with 18. Dame was threes was falling. And what we said about Dame before, we said this, I think it was a few shows ago. When Dame's hitting threes early, it's going to be a big night from three. It's going to be a good night from three from him. Them threes are going to fall. Rarely ever do you see Dame start out 0 for 4 and then them threes start falling later on. It just doesn't usually work that way with him. So when Dame's hitting threes from early like he did, you knew that was going to be a good night for him. Another thing, though, tonight, though, right, and we got to win, so I don't want to harp on this, but 17 on the Wizards was giving Brook work. 17 on the Wizards was giving Brook work for part of the night. And I was a bit surprised at that, too. Another thing, man, hey, you said it as well. Malcolm Brogdon, he was kind of cooking too, right? It was like you said, it was quiet, but when you look at the number at the end, you're like, dang, he was really putting in work. Again, not concerned about this at all. This just tonight, I felt like the Bucks did to an extent lack some energy, lack some enthusiasm. What Marshawn say? I'm just here so I don't get fined. I don't think it was quite that rough, but yeah, you had some interesting offensive output from these guys, right? We talked about Giannis already, obviously Mr. Triple Double. We talked about Dame as well. And, interesting thing about this, though, tonight is so Brook took 14 shots. To put that in perspective, right, he's the third highest shot total on the team here. To put that in perspective, Brook's 14 shots tonight, that's more than Bobby, that's more than Taurean Prince, and that's more than Gary Trent Jr. combined, right? Like, so this just to kind of go ahead and tell you, like, the offensive output just was not there for some of those guys. Having said that, though, I thought some of your role players, Prince, AJ Green, Derry Bird, did what they were supposed to do and came in there and chipped in and kind of got out the way because you did have a remarkable performance from Giannis, and it was kind of the Giannis and Dame show. So, overall, right, not a pretty win, but it's definitely a win. I think we stack up there, and we keep building on this momentum, and we take this thing on into Tuesday.
Yeah, I share the same sentiment. I just think that down the stretch in this game, I was kind of looking for the Bucks to show me something in late game stretches to where you can just put a bad team away, and I don't really see that tonight, right? Like, I felt like the Wizards shot themselves in the foot more than the Bucks actually defended them well and scored at the other end well to really put this game away. But at the same time, I mean, there's good things all around. Like, in a win, you're going to find some positives. And it's, of course, Giannis coming in after a week off and just going crazy, going right at Sarr. That shows that he does have some basketball IQ down there, that he's actually, attacking guys that are freshly into the league. And I like that, welcome to the NBA, Rook. But yeah, I mean, and then I think Taurean Prince was a guy who stood out to me just because I feel like he doesn't get as much love, but he's just been really good. Like, he's just been a guy that is an 82 game player, like we said before the acquisition was made. Like, we needed a guy like that could play well consistently throughout the regular season. I think he's doing that tonight. I think he's showing some variety in offense as well. Like, he had some crazy fadeaway three in the corner. Like, so just all in all, good from the role players, just to be able to kind of win this one. But outside of that, like I said, I think the Wizards shot themselves in the foot more than the Bucks just closed this one out.
Yeah, and like we talked about, there was a talent gap. The Bucks just, it was one of those games. You're out there, you're trying to make sure that that you're doing the right things, but sometimes you don't end up. That's not how it ends up. Looking at certain guys in particular, like I said, I like the game from AJ Green. I like what he gave us. I thought Ajax. Somebody in the comments. Let me pull. Somebody in the comments said John House said Ajax won this game again. I don't know that I go that far. I think he makes hustle plays, makes defensive plays. But your issue with Ajax again tonight is what are you giving me on the offensive end? Let me see what did he shoot tonight? Let me. He was 1 of 7. Like, again, that's this is one thing that it's just gonna be hard. It's just gonna be hard to stay on the floor from against good teams, against good basketball teams, when you cannot provide anything on the offensive side of the ball. And when you talked about it, JT, when you mentioned the shots that Brook Lopez puts up, putting up 10 shots, like not a lot of guys putting up 14 shots. Yeah, he's going to get that more than the rest of the starters combined, not named Giannis and Dame and some other guys, because there's nowhere else you're going with these shots. Like, Andre Jackson Jr. is he's in no man's land all the time. And again, I don't want to harp on it, but it is tough sometimes to watch him offensively, even though he provides you that spark and those good things. And that's what's going to be interesting. Like I said, once this team gets fully healthy and you have a Chris Middleton coming back, and you're playing Ryan Rollins, especially in some of those minutes too, I think Andre Jackson Jr. becomes a spark plug guy. Maybe you still start him. He can play 15 minutes. But again, on tonight, I mean, your whole thing is defense and making plays. And Jordan Poole gives you 31. Michael Brown gives you 29. AJ Green, another one of our defenders. And this is where I get kind of scared, because AJ Green had his moments when he was on Jordan Poole as well. Couldn't stay in front of him. He fouled out, didn't he? Did he foul the game? Yeah, he finished with 6 fouls tonight. He can't play defense without fouling. So again, tonight's just one of those nights where you're going off the brilliance and the excitement of Giannis and what he's able to do. And of course, he says about many teams, if you don't have, when you have a star or a superstar, like, that's the guy, and that's why you win games. But look, if you look at Washington, they played Jordan Poole 34 minutes, Michael Brown 30 minutes. I mean, and the Bucks had to. I mean, I don't know. Did the Bucks? Let me ask you this question: Did the Bucks have to play Damian Lillard 40 minutes and Giannis 38 minutes to get a win? I genuinely like wonder that. Is that what if you had to play Giannis and Dame, I don't want to say regular minutes, but like 38 minutes, it's a lot of minutes. 40 minutes is a lot of minutes to win a basketball game against the Washington Wizards. Like that, that's where I get to. And somebody in the chat mentioned it about Chris Middleton. Jay Dizzy says, so it's been a week since they said Mid was close to coming back, but Doc said not tonight, but soon we hope. Like, why do they lie to us? Again, let me tell you, let me just say one thing. I don't think they're necessarily lying to you. They don't know. Because again, it's all based upon when Chris says he can come back. So I don't know. I don't necessarily say they're lying to you. Chris has been medically cleared. He's medically cleared a month ago. Sean finally comes out a couple of days ago, says that he was medically cleared. And so you're trying to figure this out. Like, okay, what's the deal? It's all based upon how he feels, what he feels like. And what I go to when we say that is so Doc Rivers is in a position where you keep asking him, he can't tell you nothing until Chris Middleton says, yeah, I'm good to go. Oh yeah, I'm good to go and I can play. He can't tell you anything. And it goes to my second question of Damian Lillard plays 40 minutes, Giannis plays 38 minutes. Chris obviously would eat into that. When we get to the end of the season, it's November right now. When we get to the end of the season and guys' knees are banged up and we get these non-contact and keep talking about it, it's crazy. I've worked myself into being frustrated after I was happy about this win. I'm just looking. I did not know that's what the minutes broke down to. Did the Bucks have to play guys 40 minutes, your superstars 40 minutes, to get a 10-point victory over the Washington Wizards in November?
I mean, the short answer is yes, but again, I don't want to worry about that too much. And the reason why is, again, I'm in the excuse making business tonight and tonight only. We're coming off Thanksgiving. Folks been watching college ball all day. Everybody hanging out. People, family still in town. You know, guys with wives or whatever. They, the OnlyFans models with plane tickets. They don't depart out of General Mitchell till tomorrow morning, right? You had them stay through the weekend. If you're a young single man, whatever that is, right? Like maybe this is just a situation where they're just like us. Everybody a little tired. Everybody had a lot of turkey. Folks was eating bad. Some of y'all was on that Henny. I already know what time it is, right? Like, I want to give that excuse as to why this team looks so uninterested in being out there tonight. The other thing, though, is that what you could not do is lose to the lowly Wizards, and they did not do that. Right now, they really didn't quote-unquote pull away at all, but they really didn't pull away to like the last couple minutes, if you want to call that pulling away, or comfortably trying to put this thing away. And yes, in a perfect world, this is unacceptable. But tonight, given the circumstances, and look, your stars showed up. Now it does not take a triple-double from Giannis to beat the Wizards. Let's just call it how we see it. I mean, it does not take a triple-double from Giannis. And I would be very worried if it did take that from Giannis. It doesn't. But, yeah, Trey, I think let's just say this is just one of those nights. Just one of those nights. It was an ugly win. It wasn't pretty. You had Malcolm Brogdon and Jordan. What they say, what's the Instagram reel about Jordan Poole? When the baddie's courtside, he go crazy.
Only one I saw Thanasis was courtside tonight, so I don't know what he was going. I'm just saying that's what I saw courtside. I didn't see. Right. That's what you said. I'm just that's what that's the one I saw standing up courtside. So I don't know. Maybe he was showing out. I don't know. You never know.
Speaking of that, he shot some wild stuff down the stretch. Jordan Poole. I mean, my goodness. That's why I think Dame and Giannis had to play so much tonight, is because you didn't really get many contributions from the other guys offensively. And the Wizards, yeah, they weren't answering anything really. It felt like, I mean, they were hanging around, but at the end of the day, they weren't scoring the ball at a high level. I just think that we defended it well enough to pull out the win. And then so I think you needed Dame and Giannis to play because we didn't have much offense outside of those two. And maybe that's just how it goes sometimes. Giannis is feeling it, and he gets up 24, and the rest of the guys don't take as many shots and stuff like that. Maybe that's the game flow, but at the same time, like that was our only offense tonight, I felt like.
Exactly. That's your offense. That's how you're getting through things. Not only is that the way you're scoring, but that's how you're playmaking. Like Giannis is playmaking. Again, he's triple double because he has the ball in his hands. So it's not like it's not even like they're scoring in different ways. Like they are literally not, they are scoring and they are manufacturing the points for others. Like Torian Prince is getting his own bucket. And like GTJ is getting his own. And like Brook Lopez is getting his own bucket. They are literally doing everything. There's a moment in the first quarter where Giannis had assisted or scored on basically every bucket. But that's the only thing I'll say. And this is where I go with it, JT. This is becoming a trend because as you look back at some of the Bud years, you see Giannis you look back, especially 2018-19, 32 minutes played. Then 2019, 30 minutes played, 33, 32. And then as you go back over the last 2 years between Adrian Griffin and Doc Rivers, you go 35.2 last year. He's up to 35 minutes a night. This isn't even counting tonight's 37 minutes or so on tonight, which is more than he has played. More minutes per game tonight over the last 2 years than since around 35 since 2017. So he was 23 years old. So he is jumped from being from he's playing at the same level of minutes he was as a 23-year-old now in the NBA and now at 30. So I do think that is some room for concern. But tonight, you're right. I'm gonna get off the soapbox and stop ranting because I do want to talk about the greatness of Giannis for 1 second. Tonight was a masterclass. Tonight was. We take it for granted so much, and I've said this before, and I'm gonna continue to say it. We take what he does for granted. If you're in the area, if you're in Milwaukee, go see him. If you're in another town, another city that has an NBA team close, when the Bucks are in town, go see this young man because what he does is spectacular. Like 42, 12, and that's the thing. So if you were in the building tonight, if you were in 5-star form, you witnessed history. This is his first time he's ever, and of all the things Giannis has accomplished, that was the first time he's had a 40-point triple-double. He did it in every single way. He didn't hit a bunch of jumpers, but he knocked down free throws. He got to the basket. But to me, the most impressive part was the 11 assists because I know he can get to the rim and score, especially on a rookie. He can do that in his sleep. But the way he reads defenses, attacks defenses, gets the ball out to shooters, and plays the two-man game with Dame as well. I think he had a first quarter. I think he had like 5 assists or whatever it was. It is masterful. And I do think him and Dame are getting much more comfortable together. They seem to have some more chemistry. But Giannis is a scoring machine. He's going to rebound the basketball, and then he's a threat to play make. Oh, and by the way, he did have 1 block tonight. But I thought it was I was watching play defense on Sarr. And Giannis is all over the court because, it was one of those things where Alex Sarr was so bad, if you will, that Giannis was gambling a lot because he knew he could gamble and he had that much recovery speed to get back to Alex Sarr and still be able to defend his man. So, again, his matchup scored 7 points, and I distinctly remember the 7 points. I know there was 1 3, but one of the buckets was on Bobby Portis. So I don't know how he got the other 2. Let's see. He had 2 free throws. So he had a 3-pointer out of a scramble drill. He had 2 on Bobby Portis, and then at some point he got fouled. So he really didn't score on Giannis at all. 2 of 8 from the field, 1 on the 3, and one on when Bobby Portis was defending him. So Giannis, that's what we talk about. When I look at Bobby Portis and you go, oh well, he scores. Okay, well, what does your matchup do? So it's not like Giannis gave you 43 or 42 and then gave up 35 on the other end because that's a net of 7. Giannis is giving you 42, and then he's giving up 7 points on the other end. He didn't give up all the 7 points. So that's a plus 40. All these plus, that's a plus 42 individual matchup, or plus 30. Because I'll say the 3 was on him for a rotation. So 42 minus 3. So he's a plus 39 in just individual matchups. That is the beauty of what Giannis Antetokounmpo does. And then not to mind you the assist on the other side from Sarr. Alex Sarr has 2 assists. Giannis has 12. Sarr has 1 assist. Excuse me. Giannis has 12 rebounds. Sarr had 2. Sarr had 1 assist. Giannis had 11. That is completely dominating your matchup. The guy on the other side of you absolutely dominate. And again, I look at the score and I go, damn, how you only win by 2? Well, one of the reasons is because You look at the domination of the matchup. Andre Jr. has 2 points from your backcourt, and Jordan Poole has 31. So that's how you can get some things that add up there. But again, Giannis he was spectacular tonight. Did you see the pass? He like whipped one around. He whipped run around the end to Taurean Prince. He had another one on the baseline. I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive. All the stuff that they give Joker when they talk about Joker and the passing, and Giannis is one of the best passing bigs in the NBA. There's no question about it.
100%. Well, and that's the thing about Jokic is they love giving him credit how good of a passer he is, but it seems like nobody outside of Milwaukee even realizes how good of a passer Giannis is. Right? Now, granted, maybe it's a relatively new thing. I mean, he's been a good passer for a few years now. But it's a relatively new thing. But I agree, Giannis for a big man is an elite passer. There's no question about that, and we do see that very frequently here. Having said that, though, the thing about Jokic is maybe, and I don't even want to say he's the first guy we've seen do it, but it's just because everybody saw him do it. They keep running away with this narrative. But I do think there's room and there's certainly space for 2 elite passing big men in the NBA. And it certainly is Giannis and Jokic, but, whatever. Not really going to worry about that. But I want to go back to the minutes thing because I want to put something in perspective here. You said something about Giannis is playing the same minutes he was playing at 23. So how many more minutes per game this year is he averaging versus last year? Because you broke that down, but you kind of glossed over that a little bit, though. Is it an increase of 2-3 minutes a game?
So, and remember, so he's playing about the same as he was last year, which you remember last year he got hurt. He got injured, and that's what I'm alluding to because Chris was out for a majority of the season. He gets injured playing 35 minutes a night at the end of the season with a non-contact injury. So if you want to go back to, let's take it back to 2022. He played 63 games. He played 32 minutes a night. That's the difference of about three extra minutes per night. You go back to 2021, that's about 33. He was at two minutes per night. I really remember that 2019 year when the Bucks were blowing everybody out. This was pre-COVID, I believe. It was either 2019, 2020. He was playing 30 minutes a night. The Bucks were blowing everybody out. They were almost having to put him in the game late when they were up just to get his conditioning up so he could get up to 30 minutes. So if you go back to 2019, this is prime Bud, you're talking about an increase of 5 minutes per night versus where he was at that point.
Well, look at it like this, right? This is to an extent some funny math here, but let's flesh this out for a second. How many games is Giannis playing a year right now? Would you say 65, 70?
He played 73 last year,
right? Okay, so we do 3 minutes, right? Times let's say 70. Let's just say 70 games, right? That's okay. 210 minutes. 210 minutes divided by what? 35 a night. Right? In theory, that's 6 more games a year. You see what I'm saying? If you just calculate the minutes, 210 extra minutes a year, and then you divide that by the 35 minutes he's playing. I mean, that's crazy. That's 6 more games. So that is technically more wear and tear for this man's body, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Is when you calculate the extra minutes that he is playing. How do we quantify that into something tangible? Well, it's equivalent to him playing 6 more games than he played the year before. It doesn't sound like much, but it certainly adds up for a player who, oh, by the way, moonlights as the face of the Greek national team in the summers too as well. My point is that all of this wear and tear certainly does add up, and you really do have to think about this because you're right, Trey. You talk about playing 40 minutes a night. Well, in the vacuum, we don't really worry about him playing 40 minutes against the Wizards. Do we want him to have to? Yes. No, we don't worry about it. The problem, though, is you're 100% right. When you get to April and you start adding up this minute increase, you start adding up this wear and tear, you start adding up how hard he plays, how explosive he plays here, it starts to make a little bit more sense as to how you start having some of these lower body ailments, some of these lower body extremity things. And again, it all goes back to what we said before, the unpopular comment of, well, in the offseason, we got to take care of our body. And what that really means is what? Probably a little bit more rest and recovery.
Yeah, and instead of diving in further to the math equation and the math lesson, I think here's where I go with this. The fact that Giannis was able to
get up in there, Chris. Get up in there. Like Deshaun Watson said, get up in there.
Hey, yo. Diddy said that too. But go ahead.
Yeah, both of them.
Diddy said slide on in. Come on now. Get the terminology right. Get the terminology right.
Wildin'. Wildin'.
No, but to me, where I go with this, and yes, this kind of factors into what you guys are talking about with just how much wear and tear they're getting. But I was very impressed for Giannis to take a week off and still do the things that he was doing before he needed the rest. And Dame to adapt to that, though, right? Like, you had 37 from Dame last game without Giannis, and then Dame's still able to go put up 25 with Giannis going for 42. I think that's the most impressive takeaway from this Giannis performance is they were able to get it going after one sat out and one went for 37 on, what was that, Tuesday? So I think I really enjoy the fact that these two seem to be on a maybe a better page than they were last year. And for especially when you don't have Chris right now, like, you're going to have these nights where Dame is going to have to rest and Giannis is going to have to go for 40, 50. But for them to be on the same page when they're on the court, love seeing that.
Yeah, 100%. They're playing well, and that's the other reason why I want Chris to get back so much. Not for two reasons, not just for the minutes piece, so he can cut down on some of the minutes from Giannis and from Dame, but also because, again, you cannot just roll the ball out and, hey, here we go, guys, against good basketball teams. No, you have to have that chemistry. This is not how it works. You got to figure this thing out. And you want Chris Middleton out there on the floor so they have that synergy between all three. Let's go to the Twitter. I have a couple questions that I want to ask you guys that came from Twitter. So I'm going to ask – it's not a two-part question, but there are two questions I want to ask me once. At Sunk345, essentially says, good win, but why were we so bad defensively? Why did Jordan Poole and Malcolm Brogdon look like the fastest guys to ever play the game of basketball? Drug test those guys immediately. Even Ajax was looking slow compared to them. And then there was another one from at BSD Gazelle says, this question is for everyone on the pod. Is there anything the Bucks can do to get Ajax going on the offensive end? So two different questions there. You can answer how you want, but one was asking why the Bucks are so bad defensively tonight. Why did Jordan Poole and Malcolm Brogdon cook the Bucks backcourt tonight? And then the other question goes back to Andre Jackson Jr. What can you do offensively, if anything, to get him going? How do you get him going? What is the key? What is the solution?
Well, look, I think the first one. I think Brogdon and Poole looks fast, and I'm not even sure is it looking fast as much as the Bucks is looking sluggish, just looking slow out there. I think Jordan Poole is one of your quicker guards in the league. I would certainly argue that. Never known Brogdon to be known as that, but tonight. Ajax may have been crossing his feet on defense. He might as well have done that, right? Because there were moments where he just looked a couple steps slow. So yeah, I don't really know why we look so sluggish. Besides the fact that, like I told y'all, the Henny and the Dominoes, that'll do it. Having a whole lot of that. The turkey, the late nights, the Church's chicken, Popeyes, whatever it is, I'm not really sure. Now, as far as Andre Jackson Jr., and Chris, I'll let you run with this a bit more, but I think the biggest thing with Andre Jackson Jr. is we got to put him in position. Again, when I look at him offensively, I'm looking at, man, if you get something wide open, take it, or get the garbage buckets. That's it, right? That's when I'm looking at him when I'm looking at him offensively. So how do we get him to get going? Can we schematically maybe draw a couple things up for him? Is that possible? Is that really his game? I'm not really sure, but my thing is, I don't think Andre Jackson Jr. should be playing over 20 minutes a night, right? I think in a perfect world, he's not playing 28 minutes, 29 minutes. I think once Chris comes back, you start figuring out these other rotations. I think he certainly should play. He needs to be on the court, but I think you probably reduce his playing time, and maybe that increases efficiency.
So for me on Andre Jackson Jr., I think they're asking him to do too much offensively, and that's kind of what you need when you don't have a deep team. When you have guys hurt and not playing, I feel like they're kind of relying on Andre Jackson Jr. to be this 3-point 3-and-D guy where the 3-point looks are there sometimes, but at the end of the day, is he looking for those? Is he confident enough to take those? And that's where I think you got to do some implementing, maybe some pick and rolls with him, maybe at the top of the key, and just seeing maybe you're able to get a lob for him or two, and get him on the board, get him to see one go in, get him a big dunk, get the energy up, and maybe he'll be able to get going off of that. But at the same time, I just don't think his confidence is all the way there to be what they're asking him to be right now, and that's not his fault. That's the way that this team is shaped right now. We're kind of I wouldn't say our wing defenders are deep, and I think they're asking him to be a wing defender and shoot threes, and it's just I don't know if that's his game right now.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, Andre Jackson Jr. has a unique talent, so I'll take that question too. Andre Jackson Jr. has a very unique talent where he is he's quick, he is athletic, and again, if you are how tall is he? How tall is Andre Jackson Jr.?
6'6", 6'7"?
6'6", 6'7". So yeah, at 6'6", 6'7", whatever that is, like that is a premium in the NBA. That's what you're looking for. Those guys from about 6'5" to 6'4" to 6'8", 6'9". If you can defend at the wings of the NBA, that's what guys are looking for. That Jay Crowder type that can actually play defense. The Torian Prince type that can play defense. And so when you're talking about, and Bucks not choices, though they aren't using him offensive, they aren't overusing him offensively. They're using him as a screener in a dunker spot, which is fine. Yes, but your issue is when you're using the dunker spot, you have to be able to look at the bat. You have to be able to get the ball and do something with it. But they can't do, like, okay, so PJ Tucker stood in the corner, but there was a threat of him shooting the three ball that you at least had to take serious. That was at least a viable threat. You couldn't leave him open. Good teams literally self-check, and so I understand what people are saying in the chat here, but this doesn't work because good teams, what you want to create, which is why you see the Bucks offense a lot of times so spread out, you want to have as many driving lanes as possible for Giannis. You don't want, like Brook Lopez, I know we get tired at sometimes of watching Brook Lopez hoist threes, but we would also get tired if he just camped in. Again, and there's got to be a happy medium to it, but you wouldn't want Brook Lopez camped on the block. Like you wouldn't want a Jonas Valanciunas camped on the block because that just creates another defender in the lane to stop Giannis. So there's a good thing. There's a good reason as to why everybody's spread out on the perimeter. That's the modern game. And you have a Giannis who's slashing and you want him to have that space. But what happens is when you have a guy like, and this is why the difference between an AJ Green and Andre Jackson Jr., when you have a guy that can shoot, what does that mean for the defender who's on AJ Green or the defender who's on Torian Prince or the defender who's on Brook or the defender who's on Dame? You can't cheat as much. You're a step closer to the guy who's outside the three-point line. If it's Andre Jackson Jr., I'm doing the Brook Lopez. Well, I'm 2 feet in the paint. I'm just getting out for the hope I don't get a defense in 3 seconds because I don't have to go guard him. He's zero threat to me. Even in the dunker spot, when you cut to the basket, if you're not going to look at the basket, what are you doing? What are you doing? 1 of 7. That's not. I mean, it's just not good. So I get what you're saying. And I think you're right, JT. There's a question of how many minutes do you play him? And again, even if he's a starter, does that look like? I have another question about Bobby Portis, but that's a different story too. Does it look like 20 minutes as a starter? Does that look like 30? Andre Jackson Jr. cannot be on the court for 30 minutes. Like that becomes a problem for you because he just it just becomes too much of an offensive liability. The question I thought of why the Bucks like they did on defense. Yeah, I don't know. Jordan Poole was quick. I get that one a little bit because Jordan Poole can get on a heater. Malcolm Brogdon, you got to be able to play him a little bit better. I thought that they lost him a little bit just in the half court. He had a couple timely threes too, and it is what it is. Some of it was coasting a bit. Like you said, on the Thanksgiving holiday, which gets us to our next topic here, the Thanksgiving hangover. So we're all putting some credence to that was a part of why this game went the way it went. I thought the Bucks, again, I thought they played well in spots, and I thought there were times they were just running up the court. And the Bucks, when they needed to get stops, they got them. So again, I'm not too upset about it. I'm with you guys. Yeah, this kind of was what it is because it's a Saturday in November. This Thanksgiving weekend, you had to go to work. You just happen to have a game over Thanksgiving weekend, and you had to leave everybody, leave the kids, leave the family, leave whatever, and go to the gym and play a basketball game.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, 3 weeks ago, we probably would have lost this game. We should be straight with you. 3 weeks ago, had this game played out the way it did, we probably would have lost this game because we were in the pain cave and couldn't get out of our own way. So, hey, man, growth. Tonight, it was ugly. It was sloppy. but we made this thing work. And I'll 100% give the excuse of the Thanksgiving hangover. I do. Y'all know how to. You got to work on a Saturday. You got your family. I mean, like, okay. Let's see how they look next week. Right? Let's see how they look next week.
Yeah,
everybody throwing away the turkey. The turkey's in the trash by next week.
Yeah, I think that's the most important takeaway is like this effort won't win you many games. So you're either going to have to just build off this one and, throw that effort in the trash. And, when you go play good teams that can answer you and can score with you, will have, better decision-making down the stretch, that effort won't win many games. I tell you that. So I think that's something I'm looking forward to as we, continue throughout this post-game show and throughout this season before the deadline, before the All-Star break is like, how are we going to be able to just continue our winning ways, right? Like, you got to win tonight. Great. But we've got to continue to stack them. We've got to continue to create some distance between that 500 record we just hit and just went over.
And Alpha Rucamino, you were spot on because you know who else knows about Thanksgiving hangovers?
Curly's
Bar and Grill. Go down there, Lakeview Boulevard, Pewaukee, Wisconsin, and go have some fun, man. Enjoy yourself. Get some wings, get some food, get some drinks. If the game is on, the game is televised. They got the $3 bottles and pints for you there. And you know what else they're doing on Wednesday and Thursday nights? I don't know. They probably were off this week because of Thanksgiving. I don't know. No, they wasn't. They probably doing their thing. I forgot bar people doing their thing. Wednesday and Thursday nights. You know what they're doing on Wednesday, Thursday nights, JT?
Trivia.
Bingo and trivia.
Bingo and trivia.
Karaoke
if you had enough drinks.
Hey, you know what they're giving away if you do well enough in bingo and trivia?
Tickets.
Bucks tickets, man. The Bucks on a 6-game win streak, so you need to get out to Fiserv Forum. Get those tickets. Section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2 right now. So you can get your drinks, go to the bathroom, all that. Get what you need to do, get it done. Seats 1 and 2, section 102, row 23. Get out there, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. And one thing, okay, yeah. So we'll do this. Does anybody know, because it's trivia, who knows what they're going to ask you? Do you know who was selected before Giannis Antetokounmpo in the 2013 NBA draft? Can you give me the name of the guy? And I'll run through it. If Justin was here, I wouldn't do this, but I'll run through it. I'll give you a selection here. Who was selected before Giannis in the 2013 NBA draft? Rudy Gobert, Georgie Ding, Nerlens Noel, or Dennis Schroeder? I have no idea.
Selected right before Giannis in the 2013 NBA draft.
Okay, we can process of elimination this. Nerlens Noel was top 5 pick, I believe. So I would say it's Schroeder. Is it Schroeder?
No, it's Nerlens Noel.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh, I suck. That's bad.
Nerlens Noel
he got picked. Oh, he was 76ers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't know. That was bad.
That's okay. That's all right. It was Nerlens Noel who got that. Who got that? And I see Brew Crew says Noel number 3. So there we go. Milwaukee Black says, but anyway, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar. Oh, by the way, I forgot one more thing. On Curly's. We're still in November, so we have not gotten to December yet. Doing a bourbon raffle to benefit the Pewaukee Food Pantry. 1 raffle, 12 winners. Tickets can be purchased the entire month of November. $5 each, 10 for 40. Winners will be drawn notified. No, Monday, December the 2nd, 100% ticket sales donated directly to the food pantry. Let's go to the chat. What happened? I didn't see it.
Read about 5 comments up.
The 3-point looks. I don't know what I'm missing. Milwaukee Black says Peter Tucker and Jay Crowder took 5 years to develop a 3-and-D. Jackson Jr. will hit those 3 shots consistently in 2 more years. Mm-hmm. But the upside is he will be on a Draymond Green, Drew Holiday defensive level in 2 years. That's what you want? Or
go 3 more down.
3 more down. Ding. Chris King and his Dayton kick-ass Flyers over UConn the other night. I'm missing it. Michael B.
Comment. That's a
good comment. Okay.
All right, go 1 more down after that one.
Noel number 3.
And then go
Gorgeous Dog is crazy. Gorgeous Dog is crazy. All right,
Tom.
I was still missing because your mind gives you. Okay, I'm thinking George's Dame. I'm like, what? Gorgeous Dog. I had to actually read it. Gorgeous. Okay, wow. Hey, yo, Todd, that's a little much there. You going with that one? But Todd is right. Crowder is back in the league too. So you're seeing a lot of those things take place. Let's go to Twitter, see some comments there. See what you guys got on the Twitter. 1 second. Let's give it this thing here, man. Y'all are always on it. Here we go. At the Wisconsin says the NASA's courtside again. Hey, maybe it's a real thing. Trade Bobby Portis. Todd says that's a fancy basketball name. I can see how that'd be a fancy basketball name. That's probably a good one. Justin MK says Giannis for MVP. That the MVP chance were out for Giannis. I think he's definitely making his case. He was the player of the week last week. So yeah, and I think because the Bucks start, you have people kind of doubting the Bucks and doubting Giannis, but Giannis continues to show that he should definitely be up there in those discussions. Should never be out of them for what it's worth. Rmill53 says we blow them out if we try harder. So a couple more here. Another Giannis MVP from @LightSerif. At In Sportsline says Doc is a good coach. These guys seem locked in. AJ and Ajax are playing meaningful minutes, and Gary Trent Jr. is living up to expectations. Can we talk about how good Taurean Prince has been too? Wow, Taurean Prince has been good. He's played well. Absolutely, he's played well. And then NYC Randy says great win because wins are hard in this league, but bad effort. Can't be upset because you can tell they were not motivated. Last year, this would have been a loss. Giannis going to keep getting disrespected, and Dame volume and accuracy is improving game by game. We take it. This also says Giannis was see the grammar. Last year, this would have been a lost, be kicking everybody's ass. That would have been a loss, LOSS, would have been a lost, LOST. So NYC Randy, man, get it together. We all right. But it's Twitter though. Ain't no real document. But I'm just saying, I just want to make sure you all together there. See some help. I give some help. I try to help the people out a little bit. I see a lot on Facebook. A lot of the homies from back at the crib, Facebook, lost be killing them. They always sorry for your loss. Somebody dies. LOST. Yeah. And then worse and worse. They be killing them too. Worse and worse be killing. And then y'all there and theirs.
Yeah. People are bad at that one.
Hey.
Well, 2 and 2 be killing people too now.
2 and 2.
2 and 2 we had a place in chokehold. Right. My thing is look, man, I let anything unless you trying to bang on somebody and then the grammar ain't right. It's like, come on, bro. Come on. We got to think this one out. Come on now. And as long as it doesn't look like you went ahead and tried to outmuscle the autocorrect, which that does happen sometimes too.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chris. You have something?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll say to the comments there. I mean, yeah, they're right. I mean, I was glad we were able to come to that kind of decision and the direction we wanted to go with this show is this effort was not good, but they were able to get a win. And so as much as we can harp on, they didn't play well, they didn't, execute down the stretch, they let them hang around, they got a win. So it is what it is.
Absolutely. Got the win. And that's all that matters. That's what's important. The Bucks are doing their thing. And right now, if you look at the schedule, if you look at the standings right now, the Milwaukee Bucks sit in. Wow, they sit. So Miami got to win, so they're 9-8. Bucks are 10-9. They're sitting in 6th place. You're a game out of 4th right now. You're 3 games out of 3rd. Bucks are fine. You're okay. The ship has been righted. And again, the Bucks have a big game. They have a huge game coming up on Tuesday night. Matter of fact, against the Detroit Pistons. If you talk about that NBA Cup, both teams are 3-0. Winner of that game advances and is number 1 seed in Group B for the NBA Cup. So it's a big game against the Pistons on Tuesday night. The Bucks are going to want, like you said, you want to win that not just to defeat, not just to get a win, because you need to win, but also you want to win the NBA. You want to get into this NBA Cup, or let's say not just because of the NBA Cup, but because you want to just continue to build wins. And then you had the Hawks on a back-to-back. Hawks right after that. Hawks have been playing good basketball too. They're 10-11. They have beaten the Cleveland Cavaliers twice, so 2 of the 3 losses for the Cavaliers have come by way of the Hawks. Hawks got to win tonight over the Hornets. I believe I have money on that. So so good win for the Hawks. Let's do one of you guys want to go to game ball?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. I'll let you guys go first. Well, yeah, where do you want to go game ball? I know where I'm going. So where are you guys going game ball?
I already know where you're going. So I mean, I'm going in a different spot. I mean, I could go the same place you go with the game ball, but I'm gonna go in a different spot.
All right, where you going?
basically, I'm gonna say a whole bunch of nothing without saying anything. No, I'm kidding. You know what though? I already know you're gonna get a game ball to Giannis, who is well deserved. But again, for the purpose of conversation, I'm gonna get a game ball tonight to Dame. And I'm gonna give it to Dame because Dame came out firing in that first half, did exactly what he's supposed to be doing as a complimentary guy to Giannis, the 1A and 1B punch. I love the way he started this game, faded a little bit offensively, but Dame didn't look bad defensively tonight either. I'm gonna give this thing to Damian Lillard. Game ball for you after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Dame deserves a lot of credit for coming off at 37 and then coming into the next game with Giannis. It's always an adjustment, I would imagine, but to be able to shoot the ball at a high level and really provide that first punch, I think that's what Damian Lillard has made his game off of, really, is being a microwave scorer. So, yeah, he definitely deserves one, but, I mean, Giannis, 42, triple-double, like that, it's never overlooked by us, but it's overlooked by a lot of people how good he is consistently, even after a week off. So, yeah, it'll go to Giannis.
Yeah, me too. I'm with it. I got to give it to Giannis, 42, 12, and 11. He just continues to amaze every single night he goes out there. Again, people wish they had players like that could on their team that could give a fraction of what Giannis gives, and it's just crazy because these type of he puts these if he had 18, 12, and 11, that'd be a career night, and people would say he had a bad game. So sometimes you had to throw in 42-point nights just to let people know, hey, I can score with the best of them too. So Giannis gets my game ball. Let's take a look around the association tonight. 124-114, the victory the Bucks get over the Washington Wizards. The Suns beat the Warriors tonight, 113-105. The Sixers are 4-14. They beat the Pistons, who we were just talking about. They get their fourth win of the season. Hawks 107-104 over the Hornets, and the Mavericks are up 10 right now with 6 minutes to go in the fourth over the Utah Jazz. So good numbers from them. 26, 6, and 8 from Kyrie. Quentin Grimes with 24 points right now. He's playing well in the absence of Luka Doncic. Elsewhere tonight, man, there's a lot of fighting going on today in the college
football.
A lot of fighting, a lot of flag planting. Where I guess I gotta ask you guys, where do you guys kind of fall on the flag planting and the fighting? I'll say this, especially in light of our comments that are the discussion we had this morning on your T's and Q's 97.3 the game, JT, where we kind of talked about what sorry, I'm trying to make sure if Houston beat BYU, so Colorado can get into this Big 12 championship. But I guess we had this conversation this morning surrounding what NIL and the spirit of the game. People commented about what the game looked like and what how teams will play and what big name schools are going to get all the players and wins and all. And we talked about it. And what I saw today was passion. That's what I saw. Kids that didn't care about NIL and collectives and all that stuff went out the window, because what I saw today was forget how much money we have, forget the cars, forget all that stuff. Today I'm Big Blue. I got the M and you got a big O, and guess what? I'm coming to disrespect what you got. We ain't talking about money because mercenaries don't really care. If that's all it's about, this was about passion. That's what that was. I'm planting a flag because this was right. We talk about rivalries. That's what this is about. You saw with NC State and Carolina. You saw it. You saw it with
Florida State and Florida was fighting too.
Alabama. You saw it all over SEC country, ACC, all over. It was great. You saw Georgia Tech, Georgia the other night go to 8 overtimes. So when Georgia Tech had virtually not much to play for outside of trying to keep Georgia out of the college football playoffs. So again, I was impressed by all of it. And to me, this is what it's about. Like, what I didn't like, and I didn't like Gus Johnson. I love Gus Johnson, knowing he went to Howard. Well, the only thing I didn't like about his comments when Michigan went to plant the flag, I didn't like that he was clutching pearls. Like, oh my God, I can't. Oh, don't do that. Don't. You guys, the media builds this thing up. Rivalry week. They hate each other. You can't build it up all week about all this bad blood. And then at the end of the game, you want guys to shake hands and say, "Oh, thank you. Woo, great game, guy." No. If you want me to tell me I hate this person, then there's got to be something behind that hate. And I don't mind it. Again, there wasn't, I didn't see a lot of I didn't see all the fights. I didn't see a lot of helmet swinging. But ain't nothing wrong with good old fashioned pushing and shoving down in a pile and grabbing people by the face mask and throwing some open hand slaps. I ain't got no problem with that. Nobody's seriously injured. Nothing. I don't have no problem with that. You can do all that. And the only thing I did have a problem with was so I'll be fair. Whoever if it was the Ohio State University Police Department, if it was the city of Columbus, Ohio Police Department, if you had Ohio State troop, whoever was in there pepper spraying and macing kids who were in there doing that, pushing and shoving, that's what I had a problem with, because I saw all those other fights. There were like 6. We just named 6 other fights. Nobody else needed pepper spray to break them up. No, so only your game decided they needed pepper spray and mace to mace guys out. There have been fights. I don't even. The only time, Malice in the Palace, that's when you need to mace some people. People need to be maced during that kind of. As long as you ain't in the crowd, they're on the field, and as long as you don't have civilians involved, man, let them. Come on, man. They playing football, and it's after the game. Let them push some helmets around. Come on, man. I got a problem with that.
Well, so I saw something a little bit different. What I saw today, this is my old man rant. I saw pure old-fashioned ignorance and foolishness. That's 100% of what I saw with the Michigan Wolverines, and I saw that with Carolina, NC State. I'm gonna give Auburn and Alabama a pass because that fight was during the game. I saw a lot of nonsense today. Florida State. What the hell was that? So first off, let's talk about Michigan and Ohio State. Ryan Day is the coach of this Ohio State team. Now, this Michigan team, this is on Sharon Moore. These are 2 coaches, 2 of the highest paid employees in their state, and they should be ashamed of themselves the way their team's acting. Sharon Moore, you should get your guys. Listen, we just got a dub here. Let's get in the locker room. Let's get out of here. We're on the road. We're going to celebrate in this locker room. Ryan Day, you sat up there and watched your team fight, and they got camera, they got video of you, and you standing at the side. You're not in the mix trying to break your guys up or nothing. You over here, let them fight. Yeah, let them show some fight. This is our house. Ryan Day, your team didn't show no damn fight for 60 minutes, and now you're going to talk about, let them fight afterwards. Oh, yeah, we're just not going to let that happen. Ryan Day is so fired. That's the funny thing. He is so cooked. That man is probably not going to see another Friday as a coach of Ohio State. Now, the Mason, wholly inappropriate, incredibly silly. I could understand if, let's say, a group of players jumped a player in the tunnel, right? Like Michigan State situation. Sure. Let's say that there was civilians and stadium security, because stadium security, they don't really do any recruiting for that. It's kind of just who shows up. Sometimes stadium security be 80 years old. Sometimes they, not very mobile here. If it was a situation like that and you had to mace some people because it's a crowd of people just fighting in the hallway, in the tunnel, people getting jumped, and you like, okay, that's different. But for those cops to go out there and you macing players on the field, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? And that is absolutely fool. And like Andrew Brett said, there will be lawyers, right? Second thing, Carolina, NC State. When you plant the flag in somebody's field, you have to expect them to respond. That's just not how this thing works. Like, you already know what it is. You already know what this is. You already know that's the most disrespectful thing you can do as a program. So when you're the away team and you win and you go plant your flag in the middle of the field, you already know what time it is. Other coaches should already know what time it is. I don't see why coaches are like, hey, don't do that. We're not doing that. And you saw James Franklin, for as much grief as James Franklin get, when his team tried to plant the flag earlier this year, James Franklin shut that down. He was like, no, because, guys, that's leadership. That like any way you put it, that is leadership. Now, Trey, you like it. Now you seem to be a fan of it, and you've already said you're a fan of the ignorance and foolishness. But here's all I'm going to say. If you're not fighting within the 60 minutes, don't bring that smoke after the game. If you're not going to fight and you're not going to get out there and swing and do that within the 60 minutes, don't bring that smoke after the game. Because some people will say, well, if they fight during the game, you're suspended. You know you get suspended if you fight after the game too, right? Like, what are we doing here? That makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, where I go with this is I'm kind of leaning Trey's way about how they make this rivalry, the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry, to be probably the best in all of American sports, right? But at the end of the day, I just don't see, as much as I saw today, the amount of animosity that it takes to be the best rivalry in the United States, in United States sports. And after the game, Michigan, this might be one of the more impressive wins Michigan has been able to pull off over the last 4 years, whatnot. And they're allowed to show it to me. Like if this is what the rivalry is, if this is what we're building this thing up to be, let him go. Let it play out. Let him do their thing, celebrate, because this was an incredible win. I don't know how they won the game. So,
what I'm saying is that if you're players and you're gonna taunt other people and you're gonna be disrespectful, you gotta expect the smoke coming your way. You 100% do. Like you can't sit up here and act completely. You can't sit up here and act like you didn't provoke them. That's why that Michigan player, when they interviewed him after the game, he's like, "We need to learn how to lose." And I don't know about that. You crossed the line, and you knew you did cross the line.
That's not. Hold on. Cross. This is it's a piece of turf.
You mad? Your flag in the middle of their field. What's the most disrespectful thing you can do besides pee? Besides literally pee in the middle of the field. What's the most disrespectful thing you can do?
A logo? We talking about a logo? We talking about a logo?
No, see, now you're playing games here because you know
these teams are not going to be done playing.
Now you're playing. It's just a flag. It's just a piece of plastic.
Yeah, and here's the thing.
Come on, man.
This ain't the 1980s. Everybody got turf. You can't even plant it. You're just touching it on the earth. You're not doing anything with it. It's
harmless. It's just a harmless gesture.
Harmless, right?
Everybody needs to grow up because they're just planting a piece of cloth and plastic in the middle of the field. Really?
And here's the thing, JT. If you lose, you take the flag plant. You lose.
No, you don't take the flag plant.
You take it. You take it.
Apparently, nobody got that memo. Apparently, nobody got that memo.
That goes to your point, JT, of you should have fought during the 60 minutes. So you didn't fight during the 60 minutes. Take this belt tag. Did you see? You know what's funny? And here's the funny thing. Well, here's the other funny thing. You know, the only team who wasn't fighting after people was doing nothing to them. Them boys down in Clemson. I saw people with belts. I saw people with belts smacking the damn Clemson ball, and ain't nobody do a damn thing. You just if you weren't gonna fight during the game, you just take the L. You got your ass whooped all over the field. Now you want to fight after you lose. No, you take that. You should have fought during the game, because the thing, if you had that same type of fight during the game, they probably wouldn't be planting no flags on your field in the first place. But you didn't have it, and that's the thing. Here's the thing. I think it was Arizona State that planted the pitchfork.
They tried.
But
did you see what happened? You see what happened when Arizona tried?
Was that before the game, or was that after? That was after. Okay.
Arizona State tried, and what happened?
Well, I saw Buddy came up and got up on it. I didn't see the whole thing. But my point is this: I don't like when people do it before games, trying to step on logos. I'm not a big fan of that. But after the game, after I kick your ass, nah, you got to go. You take yourself to the locker room. That's the thing. It was already. I wouldn't. As far as the Michigan stuff went, the Ohio State boys had to come running back. It wasn't like they was running.
They got them off the field.
It's over. Yeah, they was off the field. They had to come running from the damn tunnel to come do something. So again, yeah, you just wanted to fight. Listen, man, you lost the game. You look stupid. No. But again, I still think that the pepper spray was over the top, because I don't think that's necessary either. But
I think the coaches 100% bear culpability for this. You 100% bear some culpability for this too. You can't just let these coaches of all these teams all scot-free here. Oh, they just won. Nah, hell no. Sharon, get your boys. Get your boys. And Ryan Day, do something. Because you didn't earn your paycheck during the game. You damn sure weren't about to earn it afterwards. That's my issue. Just go ahead.
Justin from NC says, so yeah, Justin says, so you'd be cool with Hampton planting a flag at Howard. Again, here's the thing. If it's after, well, here's the thing.
Answer the question.
Answer
the question.
No, I wouldn't.
Thank you. Answer the question. And here's the best part about it. What would you and your teammates have done? Well, we lost. They could just plant their plastic off in the middle. No, y'all have been shooting in the parking lot. Stop playing.
Hey, we ain't gonna lose. We ain't gonna lose the game and the fight.
That's what I'm saying. And again, what I tell you, when I saw ignorance out there, this is what kind of gets me a little bit though, right? It's a little bit like these teams that lose and then they want to fight afterwards. It's kind of like y'all already know what time it is. Trey, you've been there. You get to the party, you party and you hanging out. Somebody get into a fight, they get their ass whooped, or it doesn't go the way they want it to, and then all of a sudden everybody nervous to get in the car because you already know that it's about to be a group trying to confront you, trying to see you outside because it didn't go their way. It kind of seems like it's that same energy with some of these losing teams trying to fight afterwards. Now, the flag plant is an escalator. I mean, that 100%. You are agitating for that. But I mean, again, it just goes back to me. I blame the coaches 100% for this, because you saw what that ASU coach did. When his team tried to plant the pitchfork, he ran up over there. He was mid-interview. He ran over there and was like, no, we're not doing that. Get out of here. And get his team in the locker room. Get your guys in the locker room. Because at the end of the day, your job is to keep your players safe. That's the thing. Like, your job is to keep your guys safe. So if they out there hot dogging and they doing that, and you know this fight is going to happen, and you're complicit in that, then you 100% bear some culpability with the fallout that happens.
Yeah. So, like I said, it was an interesting day. A lot of interesting scores that went around. And I think the committee's gonna have a handful because Miami lost today to Syracuse. So the committee's gonna have they're knocked out of the ACC title game. The ACC isn't like SMU and Clemson. Clemson jumped back into it. So that's gonna be.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting to see what they do there. Just a lot of interesting stuff right now. And again, BYU is. They are somewhat struck 14-10 Houston right now. So again, there's an outside chance that Colorado sneaks back into the Big 12 title game. So again, it's just a lot of interesting stuff as this thing gets through it. Does Alabama get in to the college?
Houston stinks. Alabama. Did Alabama have 3 losses? How many losses Alabama had? 2?
They have 3, correct?
3.
They have 3 losses.
I don't see how a 3-loss Alabama team. I don't see how. Here's the thing. You can't put a 3-loss Alabama team over a team like Ohio State. Can't do that. That ain't right. Ohio State got 2 losses. So the question is, who does Alabama make it over? And then the question comes down to, well, what about Colorado? Colorado got 3 losses. So are you gonna put Alabama in over Colorado?
Yeah.
Get in off of winning the Big 12.
Only one Big 12 team's gonna get in. You'd have to win the.
So you got to win the Big 12. I don't know if Bama gets in with 3 losses. I do find that would probably be a bit controversial. I thought Miami. I think is snubbed. Miami may not make it because they got 3 losses.
No, I don't think they are.
No, but this is interesting though, because now you're starting to factor in bid thieves, and what I mean by that is a team like Penn State sneaking into they probably would have made it anyway, but like a team like Colorado, sneaking into the Big 12 playoff or Big 12 championship and then winning that game. Now you may have to bring in, 2, not from the Big 12, but there's some instances of that. And so that's why I think this whole 12-team thing is so special, and you really won't be able to get a real idea until after those championship games are played. So, we'll see who gets it.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I think there's a scenario where South Carolina can get themselves in. They had a big win over Clemson today. I don't know. So we'll see. It's gonna be a lot to break down and figure out how this thing ultimately plays out.
Well, 4 teams from the SEC I think are going to get in, and I'll say Texas and Georgia. I think both probably get in. There's no question about that. Texas and Georgia, and then it gets interesting, right? Does an Alabama make it in? Does Tennessee make it in? How many losses Tennessee have?
Tennessee
like
has
2?
Yeah, and they beat Vandy today.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, so what about a squad like Tennessee?
Yeah,
right?
and then you got Indiana in the Big Ten.
Indiana.
You got Ohio State and Penn State and Oregon. So it's going to be a lot. And obviously, there's still that group of 5 team that gets in too. So there's going to be some tough discussions had whenever that happens.
Yeah, absolutely will be some tough discussions, and we'll see kind of where the committee goes. Like, because here's your issue, JT, is there's going to be holy hell if 3 SEC teams if one of those SEC teams gets left out, and they're going to go, hey, our conference is harder than whatever silly conference you're in, and those teams shouldn't get in the 3-loss team should get in over a 2-loss whatever, because look at our conference, look what we have to go through on a week in, week out basis. And again, I thought Georgia Tech would have been able to have a nice, would have been able to prove that nice if they could have beat Georgia this weekend, but they didn't. So that's kind of how that goes too.
We do agree though, if something controversial happens and a team that gets in that probably shouldn't get in it most likely is going to be Alabama and if there's going to be any controversy here with a team that gets in that should not be in, I'm gonna say it's probably a 9-3 Alabama SEC team that makes it in. I could see the committee doing something like that, letting the boys in, even though they got 3 losses.
Probably over somebody else with 2 losses. Yes, I can definitely see that. And again, there's going to be controversy, but yeah, you got there's brand recognition of the SEC. I think again, if somebody else got in over them, yeah, they would raise holy hell out in the SEC 100%. I think that for sure.
And I think your Big Ten has 4 schools definitely, right? Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, Penn State. I think are all in. I think Ohio State gets in. Penn State is 11-1 at this point. They're probably going to take an L to Oregon next week. But Penn State, I think,
they're in. Yeah, for sure. Let's leave it there. And I guess only thing left is to ask you guys. If you have any final thoughts after 124-114 victory. Bucks improved to 10-9. The Wizards, I believe that's 14 consecutive losses for the Washington Wizards behind a 42-12-11 night from Giannis.
Hey, we're just going to stack this one up there with the rest. Was not the prettiest, but they found a way to get it done. And, man, on to Tuesday. Let's beat the Detroit Pistons team, who has, 9 wins right now? And last year they didn't have 9 wins till, February or something. So, man, Monty Williams was stealing money last year. Things have changed. Good old JB getting it done. Man, let's take this momentum into – I hope everybody has a great weekend. And, yeah, we good.
Well, yeah, and then, I mean, we've also seen the kind of adjustment the Detroit Pistons has made with – we almost lost to them. So, that overtime victory was good for us, and hopefully we're able to carry that into Tuesday. But, yeah, man, this one I just feel like you did just enough to get the win, but that's sometimes what you need over the course of an 82-game season, and a season that you need some breaks after starting in the hole. So, you got another win. You got a win to get you above 500, and now you're able to let's roll. Let's do this thing.
100% agreed all the way. King says, great show, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate Justin listening as well. We'll see him probably Tuesday. And appreciate everybody for watching us, listen to us in whatever way, whether you did it on Twitter or YouTube. If you did it on YouTube especially, hit that like button and subscribe. But yeah, man, the Bucks got another. At the end of the day, it's another win. It's another win. You're one of the hottest teams right now in the entire NBA, in the entire league. And like you said, JT, you keep stacking them. Bucks have won 6 in a row. You can make that 7 if you include that loss that shouldn't have happened to Charlotte. And you absolutely keep rolling with this type of momentum. And I'm glad they got it off early, because what you could have had was a situation where this thing lingered and you start off 2-8 and you kind of sputter, and you're trying to get the 500 about a 40-game mark. Get that out the way. Go ahead and stack this up. Give yourself a cushion. Get yourself up to 500 now. You're already there at the 20-game mark or whatever it was. Or you're already there. You're at the 20-game mark. You've gone from 2-8 to hopefully 11-9 over 500. And you erase that quickly. So that was a good thing for the Milwaukee Bucks. Got out of the hole, as you talked about. And I think you continue to try and stack these. You try to give yourself as much cushion as possible because again the schedule doesn't ease up, and you're gonna have to play these teams like Boston, like Cleveland. You had to play the West Coast teams as well for the Western Conference and beat those basketball teams as well. And again, the big question: when does Chris come back? We'll figure it out. But until then, you have Detroit coming up. You have Atlanta coming up. Go get some much needed victories there. Again, appreciate everybody for listening to us, watching us. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us, and we appreciate it on a Saturday after Thanksgiving. Fun stuff as always with the CCC at a Cream City crossover. Tell a friend and tell another friend about the Cream City crossover. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We definitely appreciate everything that you do for us as listeners and viewers. I think that's it, man. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Group Checkers Dirt.
JT.
Chris King.
Oh, I want to thank the sponsor too, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. Get out there. If I am your enemy, it's only because I dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels.